In the weeks leading up to the actual homicide in this case, so when Charles Jones is killed, did you see social media start to ramp up as it related specifically to Charles Jones and some of the defendants?
Yes, ma'am.
Had you had an opportunity to see specific Instagram posts back and forth between Charles Jones about a gravesite visit that he had?
Yes, ma'am.
Does the name Royale Smith, is that familiar to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that 23?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know how that individual died?
He was murdered.
Was that in the town center?
Yes, ma'am.
23, he did not die in the year of 2023, did he?
No, ma'am.
But were there social media posts where Charles Jones and other members from the north side went to 23's grave?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see the responses on social media to that?
No, not all of them, no, ma'am.
Did you see some of the responses to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to admit State's Exhibit 124A through D.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
Judge, just briefly, I know I've seen them, but
Yes. Can you do that again? I have back to ask the question.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
no objection, Your Honor.
Ms. Toomey? Mr. Wise? Mr. Petridis? Okay, they'll be admitted.
That's 154.
124A through D. In showing you State's Exhibit number 124B, is this one of those images that was on social media?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the response from the other side positive or negative to this post?
Restate your question.
Was this post, did this post make people happy from 1200 or ATK or not happy?
Not happy.
Specifically, was there a post from the Instagram account Gadaze, states 124C? That indicates the biggest mistake anyone on earth could have did.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately did, on 124A, Mr. Jones post himself at that same place.
Yes, ma'am.
Was this type of dissing going on when you first got incarcerated?
No, ma'am.
Did this incite some back and forth between Mr. Jones and several members of ATK and 1200?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did you also, in the months leading up to the homicide, have an opportunity to see a specific dispute back and forth between Charles Jones and Isaiah Chance?
Yes, ma'am. I heard of it. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Did you see it on the internet?
I was shown, yes, ma'am.
On what type of social media?
I think Twitter.
Is that Spaces, the X?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that a video or was that like a post?
I think it was posts. I seen pictures and arguing.
What was the dispute about, if you recall?
I think clothes, reference of.
Hold on. Okay, so,
This is not for the Spaces argument back and forth, the audio argument. This is an actual Spaces post argument that's going back and forth between Mr. Chance and the victim.
okay. And come up real quick.
And did you speak specifically to Isaiah Chance over the course of the months leading up to the homicide?
You restate your question?
Did you speak to Gutta in the months leading up to the homicide?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it unusual for you to talk to him?
No, ma'am.
Do you know him by Isaiah Chance as well?
No, ma'am.
You only know a nickname.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know that the individual identified as Gutta is the individual that you now know to be Isaiah Chance?
Instagram, social media.
Had you seen him on Instagram or social media before?
Yes, ma'am.
Had you had an opportunity to see his face on Instagram or social media?
Yes, ma'am.
Had you ever been in face-to-face contact with him in person?
No, ma'am.
How many times do you think you spoke to Isaiah Chance?
A lot.
And why would you talk to Isaiah Chance? Is he 6 Block?
No, ma'am.
Was he affiliated with another side or another group?
Yes, ma'am.
So why would you talk to him?
Just catching up, things about life in Jacksonville.
Did you know him before you went to prison?
No, ma'am.
How did you come to know him when you got out of prison?
Social media.
And who reached out to who?
I think he reached out to me.
On several occasions, did you have a chance to see likes from Mr. Chance on your social media accounts?
Yes, ma'am.
And during the course of these conversations that you had with him, you would talk about, you said Jacksonville. What about Jacksonville?
Things that's going on in Jacksonville, people, stuff like that.
People related to 6 Block and ATK and 1200, or the news anchor on the news at night?
People in and from the neighborhood, Jacksonville thing.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the weekend of June 21st of 2024. Did you have an opportunity to come to Tampa with Charles Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
What day did you come down here?
I don't recall.
Do you know what you did on the first day that you got here?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do?
We came down here, we got settled in, then we went out.
Where did you stay, in a hotel or an Airbnb on night one?
Airbnb.
Do you know anything about Tampa itself or the cities around Tampa?
Not really.
Do you know where the Airbnb was, like what city it was in?
No, ma'am.
Do you know that you went out to a club or a bar of some kind?
Yes, ma'am.
And would that have been Friday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But you don't know the date that was yet?
No, ma'am.
When you went out on that day, did you have a performance or an appearance for yourself or Charles Jones or with anybody else in your group?
No, ma'am. We just went out.
Just for fun?
Just for fun.
What was the purpose of the whole trip to come down here?
Birthday.
Whose birthday?
Charles Jones.
Was there anyone else other than yourself and Charles Jones with you all?
It was me, Gino, and Charles Jones.
In your car?
Julio's car. Charles Jones' car.
And other than Fulio's car, did other cars come down to Tampa with you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there an individual present by the name of Xavier Edwards?
Not the first night, no.
Was there an individual by the name of Xavier Edwards on the second night?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any kind of relationship with Xavier Edwards?
Yes, ma'am.
What's that relationship?
Another friend.
Does he have a nickname?
Yes, ma'am.
What's that nickname?
We call him Fat Zay.
Fat Zay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is he heavyset?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you heard the nickname Fat Boy?
Yes, ma'am.
And has that ever been used in reference to Mr. Edwards as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have several other nicknames for Mr. Edwards regarding his weight?
Yes, ma'am.
How about Taifa McCrae? Do you know that individual?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you call him Taifa?
No, ma'am.
What do you call him?
Tata.
Tata?
Tata.
And is that your friend as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know any of the women that Mr. McCrae brought with him to the Airbnb?
No, ma'am.
Would that have been on night one that Tata joined you all, or night two?
He was with us night one.
Okay, so night one is you and Charles Jones and Mr. Norris.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And Tata or Taifa McCrae comes with some women, some ladies.
Yes, ma'am.
Does everyone stay in the Airbnb on night one?
Yes, ma'am.
And then there's a second day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On the second day, where do you all stay? Or where do you go?
So we found another Airbnb.
Did you find another Airbnb?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you go there?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there more people present on day 2?
Yes, ma'am.
When we say day 2, is that the day that the actual club appearances were supposed to happen? So Truth 18 and
Yes,
Teachers?
ma'am.
Yes. The club appearances themselves, are those work for you, or is that fun?
Both. We got paid.
Do the clubs provide alcohol or sections or something along those lines?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, specifically as it relates to the other females that were present with you all, so you and Charles Jones and Gino, where there are some girls that also came down that you actually did know.
Yes, ma'am.
Those were separate and apart from Tata?
Yes, ma'am.
Who were the girls that you actually knew that were with you all?
Armani, which was Julio's girl at the time, and I think Aja.
And did they drive in a separate vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
On the night of the first appearance, did you have an opportunity to go to the Airbnb for night 2? So that Airbnb on the same day as the club appearances.
Yes, ma'am.
Was there a pool there?
Yes, ma'am.
And what were you all going to do that day at the Airbnb?
We was planning on having a pool party, just chill, invite, it was celebrate his birthday party with people from Tampa.
Would you have had a party in advance of actually going out, or were you doing that instead?
We're going to do both. It's supposed to be the pool party, then the show later on.
Does something happen in to change the plans of staying at the Airbnb for that night?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you all removed from the Airbnb or kicked out or something?
Yes, ma'am.
At that point, were people that you saw posting to social media, if you could remember?
Restate your question.
Were people posting on social media about the pool party and the party at the Airbnb?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you stay to help unload the Airbnb from that night?
No, ma'am.
What did you do?
I fled. I left.
Where did you go to?
I went to the club
And what was your purpose in going to the club?
to check, to see, just scope out the scenery.
Scope out the scenery?
Yeah, of the club.
What does that mean?
Just make sure everything's good, the location of it. Make sure I see everything's all right, before he shows.
Do you have some information about what you're being promised before you get to the club as a part of the appearance? So a section or bottles or girls?
Yes,
only?
ma'am.
And is that what you were checking for when you say check it out?
No, ma'am.
Did you actually arrive at the first club, Teasers, before Charles Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Was anyone else with you when you got there first?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall who was with you?
His name is Tommy.
Was Tommy also at the Airbnb?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Tommy's nickname Tax Free?
Yes, ma'am.
When you actually arrived at club number 1, did you wait inside or outside for Charles Jones and the rest of his group to show up? And when they texted you that they had arrived, did you come outside?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm showing you a still of what's been previously admitted as States 41A. Are you able to see that picture okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you able to identify yourself in this photograph?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you? If you could just describe yourself.
I have on a white shirt, chain, Jordans, and a hat.
If I point to the individual just to the left of the center of the photograph, is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, whose car is this that you just grabbed here?
Charles Jones.
Okay. Is this where you've indicated you were waiting for them to come and arrive at the first club?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you already done your walkthrough of the club?
Yes, ma'am.
While inside of Teasers, did anything out of the ordinary happen?
No, ma'am.
was, were there any problems inside of the club with people that were not a part of your party?
No, ma'am.
How about outside of the club?
No, ma'am.
Could you see that Charles Jones had been posting to social media?
Yes, ma'am.
And over the course of the night, did you see, Charles Jones drinking Don Julio?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there any significance to that?
What do you mean by that?
Was there any importance for that? Like, is that normal that he would drink Don Julio?
No, ma'am.
Did he normally drink?
No, ma'am.
Do you drink?
No, ma'am.
On this particular night, was he drinking?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was he drinking?
Don Julio.
Did you have a conversation with him about the amount that he was drinking?
Yes, ma'am.
Would that have been at club number 1 or club number 2?
At the Airbnb before we left in the club.
What was the conversation like?
To slow down on this drinking.
Was he listening to you?
No, ma'am.
Did you observe him drinking more?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you continue to make comments to him throughout the night?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you take an opportunity at club number 1 to look around outside at your surroundings?
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you do that?
I did that to make sure that we were good, pay attention. We live in Jacksonville, and Foolio is known for distance, so make sure we're safe for safety reasons.
Is that something that you do regularly?
Yes, ma'am.
Did everything at club number 1 go as you had planned for it to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you finish that club appearance and head to another place?
Yes, ma'am.
When you got to the second club, is that the club that has 2 stories?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember the name of that one?
I think it's Truth.
Were you slated to appear at the first club alongside Julio or the second club?
First.
And when we say that you're going to appear, does that mean you are also on these flyers that promote the appearance?
Correct.
Were you on the flyer to promote the first club?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there a flyer to promote the second club that you were on?
No, ma'am.
When you arrived at the second club, had anything changed? Were there any issues?
No, ma'am.
Did you all go inside of the second club?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have an opportunity to see whether Charles Jones was still posting on social media?
Yes, ma'am.
Was he?
Yes, ma'am.
At that point, did you say anything else to him about that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he say to you?
To relax and to let him enjoy his birthday.
And did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you all stay at that second club for a little while?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall how long you stayed there?
No more than an hour, like an hour.
Did you all set up or arrange for a place to stay after you had been kicked out of the Airbnb that second night?
That's why we were there. By the time, yes, ma'am, we were trying to.
At the club.
Second club, yes, ma'am.
And so were you searching for places while you were there?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you successful in finding a place?
No, ma'am.
Was anyone successful in finding another place?
No, ma'am. Another Airbnb, no, ma'am.
At some point, is the appearance at club number 2 over?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have an opportunity to head down to the parking lot with Miss Adoja and Miss Armani Turner?
Yes, ma'am.
Did everyone else in the party also leave or go to their cars at the same time as you?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, Your Honor, the state seeks to introduce States 149B.
Okay, any objection? Mr. Gonzalez?
No objection.
Ms. Toomey? Mr. Wise? Ms. Petrides? Mr. Petrides? Okay, admitted?
So I'm going to show you 149B. Can you see the screen okay?
Yes, ma'am.
In this image, is this fairly depict what the first floor looked like when you all returned to your cars?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see yourself in this particular image?
Yes, ma'am.
And where, if you can describe on the paper, are you in this image?
by the car that's lighting up with the headlights on.
That's lighting up with the headlights. So this individual at the center left.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you all are leaving at this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, whose car is this? Is this Mr. Jones's car, or are you leaving in another car?
It's Armani's car.
Is Armani Mr. Jones's girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
Who else was in the vehicle with you and Armani?
Aja.
And is that the group that you rode to the home to suites with?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you seated inside of that vehicle?
The back seat.
And who was driving?
Armani.
When you actually arrived at the home to suites, did you stay inside of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you see where Charles Jones's car was?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happens next as you are at the home to suites?
That's when I hear the shots go off.
Could you see where the shots were coming from?
No, ma'am.
What did you do?
I ducked.
And after you ducked, did you say anything to anyone?
I told Armani to go.
Did you tell Armani to go anywhere in particular, anywhere specific?
No, ma'am.
And where did she actually go?
She turned out, hitting like going on the street. Yeah.
When you say she turned out, was she driving the car forward or backward once the shots rang out and you told her to go?
She backed up. Backed up.
As she backed up, did she get out onto the street without anything else happening?
We bumped into another car.
You bumped into another car?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that mean hit them with your car?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you keep going after that?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you go?
We found help. She found help.
What do you mean by that? Like, tell me where the car went.
Well, we was driving, so when we got back on the street, we did a U-turn, and as we were going down the street, we seen police officers stop. I don't know, they had someone pulled over. So she went and got help. I didn't say anything. She talked to the police, and the police followed us back to the scene.
Did you stay inside of Armani's vehicle at that point, Ms. Turner's vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go back to the scene when the police were following you back?
Yes, ma'am.
When you got back to the scene, did the police tell you to get out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where were you?
I was in the back seat.
Where were you in, like, the car in relation to where Foolio or Charles Jones's car was?
His car was parked like in a parking spot, and we were like facing like vertical towards it.
So if his car was facing out towards the roadway, were you facing the same way, or were you like
On the side,
making
yes.
making a corner?
Yeah, making a corner.
When Armani Turner stopped the car, could you see inside of the black Dodge Charger?
No, but when I got out and walked up to the car.
When you walked up to the car, did the police start to yell at you?
Yes, ma'am.
And after the police yelled at you, did they put you in handcuffs or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Did they give you any instructions on where to go?
No, ma'am.
So what did the police tell you to do?
They told me they wanted to ask me some questions, but I had to wait till the lead detective came on scene, so I had to stay with them.
Did you want to stay?
No, ma'am.
At this time, the state will seek to admit State's Exhibit 149C.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
No objection.
Ms. Toomey? No objection. Mr. Wise? Mr. Petridis? Admitted.
So I am publishing State's 149C. Are you able to identify yourself in this footage?
Yes, ma'am.
And where are you standing?
I'm standing to the left of the picture.
Yeah, the left side of the picture. Is that in the same clothes that you described to us from the last photos?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you still wearing a white top and basketball shorts, blue and white?
Yes, ma'am.
And was there a vehicle parked to the right of the vehicle that you all had arrived in on the other side of this officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the vehicle that you indicated you tried to go up to with Mr. Jones inside?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you, even in the moments that you tried to get to the vehicle, see someone inside of the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know who it was?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you only see one person?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this vehicle on the left of this image in 149C the vehicle that you arrived back in with the police following after you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, those police officers you said came up to you and tried to talk to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Were there several individual police officers that tried to speak to you or spoke to you before the lead detective actually arrived?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not sure if you remember clearly that moment, but they would have had on a uniform instead of maybe like a button-down shirt. Do you recall talking to officers that were in a uniform?
Yes, ma'am.
More than one?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you asked by officers, including the lead detective, when he arrived and spoke to you about what happened that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell law enforcement about the Airbnb?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell law enforcement about the club appearances that you had?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell law enforcement about 2 clubs?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell law enforcement where you were in the car when the shooting occurred?
Yes, ma'am.
How about the ducking? Did you tell them about your position at all inside the car?
Yes, ma'am.
And when the first officers that responded and told you all to get away from the black Charger told you to wait for the detectives, did you do so?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know the lead detective in this case? He would have been in plain clothes, not a uniform. Do you know if you talked to him?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you at any time assist law enforcement by helping to keep Armani away?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you asked about whether there had been any fights or arguments at the club appearances by law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you answer those questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell law enforcement that there's a gang rivalry in Jacksonville?
Objection, Your Honor.
No, ma'am.
Sustained, yep.
Did you tell law enforcement anything about gangs during the course of those interviews?
No, ma'am.
Did you tell law enforcement anything about anyone being in a gang?
No, ma'am.
Did you speak to anyone that night about the drill rap scene in Jacksonville?
No, ma'am.
At this point, did you know who had committed the murder?
No, ma'am.
As you were on scene, did you start to see some posts that became relevant to you from individuals from Jacksonville?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you see those posts?
Instagram.
Are you familiar with a social media account linked to Gutta Zay?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see any social media post from the account of Gutta Zay?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see any Instagram accounts from an account called Ghost187?
I don't recall.
Seeing a post on that?
I don't recall. No, ma'am.
Do you know an individual by the name of Ghost?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you talked to, prior to the homicide, an individual by that name?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen the face of an individual by that name on a prior occasion?
Yes, ma'am.
The timing of the posts that you saw to social media, were those before or after you had a chance to speak with Mr. Jones's family members?
I think right before.
Can you talk to us a little bit about your relationship or prior relationship with Isaiah Chance? If he's not affiliated to 6 Block or he's associated with other groups, why would you maintain a friendship or relationship with him?
Can you restate your question?
Why would you be friends with Isaiah Chance, knowing he does not get along with 6 Block?
We had just conversations. His music was okay, and I heard about him, so we had conversations, talking. I took a liking to him, so we started having conversations, more conversations.
And did you ever speak to him about anything that was going on inside of 6 Block or with 6 Block people?
No, ma'am.
What was the purpose? What were you hoping to gain by having these conversations with him?
What I wanted to gain from talking to him. That's your question.
Yes.
Just, stuff was going on in Jacksonville, hoping he'll say something. anything or leading to something, just excess stuff about other neighborhoods.
So we're not talking about, like where the new nice restaurants are.
No, ma'am.
You were hoping to get information.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you asking him directly for information?
No, ma'am.
The way that you talked to him, were you hoping that he would accidentally give you information?
Yes, ma'am.
Objection on reading.
Overruled.
Did he at times give you information?
No, ma'am.
Did you, in the course of your conversations with Isaiah Chance, actually slip up?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did that occur?
Well, a female I was dealing with at the time, text him, put his number into Cash App, thinking I was messing off, and text him.
Okay, so I have to put it in layman's terms. A female that you knew at the time
Yes,
did a
ma'am.
little reverse lookup on a number that you were talking to on your phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Would you have had his phone number saved in your phone, like as a name?
No, ma'am.
So she just looked up the number.
Yes, ma'am.
So why did she think you were cheating or talking to another girl?
I guess when she put it in Cash App, a girl's name popped up.
Did you have an opportunity later to explain that to her?
Yes, ma'am.
So was it you utilizing your direct phone number to make these contacts or communications with Mr. Chance?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you'd use a different number.
Email.
An email account, so you can make a FaceTime over iCloud or something with
Yes,
an email?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You didn't have to utilize a phone number?
No, ma'am.
And prior to this homicide, did you also have an opportunity to speak to an individual by the name of Rashad Murphy?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know him as Rashad Murphy at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
Had you known Rashad Murphy just from growing up?
No, ma'am.
Did you know the nickname of Rashad Murphy at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that the same account you've already told us about, Ghost?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you talk to him on more than one occasion?
Yes, ma'am.
At the time that you spoke to him, were you able to see him?
No, ma'am.
You would talk on the telephone or on FaceTime?
FaceTime.
And how come you could not see him?
He had his camera off.
Had you ever, over the course of your conversations with him, seen his face?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times?
Once or twice.
And was that on FaceTimes?
Yes, ma'am.
How about to Rashad Murphy? Did you have his phone number saved in your phone as a contact, or was it just a number?
Just a number.
What was the nature or the tone of your conversation with Mr. Murphy? Was it the same as Mr. Chance?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What were you talking to Mr. Murphy about?
Stuff in Jacksonville, my prior case.
Was Mr. Murphy related to the victim of that case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he tell you he was related to the victim of that case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he tell you what the relationship was?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he say the relationship was?
That was his brother.
Do you know if that was a real brother or a brother like a close family member?
I didn't know. I just went with his word. That was his brother.
Did you reach out to him or did he reach out to you?
I reached out to him.
And did that happen on FaceTime like you indicated?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get his phone number?
I got his phone number through him.
Through him?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you communicate with him on social media? Or telephone via text?
Yes, ma'am.
Somehow you made contact with him.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the conversation, or are there more than one?
It's more than one.
And what are you talking about specifically about your prior case?
Who actually killed Gerard Adams? Stuff like that.
But this is at a time when you had already been released from custody
Yes,
from
ma'am.
that case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still on probation for it?
Yes, ma'am.
So it would have had to happen after your release.
Yes, ma'am.
So at some point after you get out in May, you speak to him.
Yes, ma'am.
What is he asking? Who did it? That's it?
Yeah, just some clarity. Who actually did it?
Were a lot of people asking you that question?
Yes, ma'am.
Had you admitted or made any statements about who actually had pulled the trigger in that case?
No, ma'am.
And specifically after the homicide itself, did you have any contact with Rashad Murphy?
Restate your question.
After Charles Jones was killed, how long were you out of custody?
Like 24 hours.
So you got arrested by the feds within 24 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
From the time that you come back and find Charles Jones at the Black Charger early morning on the 23rd,
Yes,
to
ma'am.
the time that you get arrested by the feds,
Yes, ma'am.
did you have contact with Rashad Murphy?
Yes, ma'am.
In what way?
He texted me.
And what did he say?
He forgives me.
He forgives you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did he say anything else in the texts?
I think to call him.
Did you actually call him?
I'm sorry, you're all right. Did you hear the witness's response?
To call him.
To call him.
Did you actually call him?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall what that conversation was with him when you actually called him?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he say during the call itself?
He forgives me again. He forgives me. And where was I?
Did you understand where were you to be about? Or did he give you any kind of context when he said where were you?
Where was I? I was, just where was I?
What did you respond to that?
I was around.
And did he say anything else?
Stuff like he seen me
Where?
walking down the stairs of the club, I guess. So he seen me by the club. Seen me at the club.
Did he say what you were doing at the club when he saw you?
He said I was paying attention.
That you were or were not paying attention?
I were paying attention.
Then did he make any statements about the actual home to suites, the homicide scene, the location?
Yeah. He said that was him in front of that car.
Did you have any idea what he was talking about?
I kind of did, yes, ma'am.
At that point, had you seen some of the video?
No, ma'am.
So how did you know what he was talking about?
I'm guessing he's in that car, so.
When he said he was standing in front of the car, could you see where the shooters were when you were actually being shot at?
No, ma'am.
Did you know what area Rashad Murphy or Davion Murphy were from?
Yes, ma'am.
Where's that?
Out east.
And is that 1200 territory?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know anything about Sean Gathright before the homicide?
No, ma'am.
Have you been to his house in the suburbs before the homicide?
No, ma'am.
Did either Sean Gathright or Isaiah Chance grow up in any of the either projects or neighborhoods or areas that you're familiar with?
No, ma'am.
Do you know whether Rashad Murphy or Davion Murphy, on the other hand, were legitimately from out east?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have an opportunity when you spoke to law enforcement to be shown an array of photographs?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you asked in that array of photographs whether you could identify any of the individuals depicted? Were you asked if you knew anybody in there?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Showing you what has been marked as states 107. Do you recognize these papers?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
And during the course of that, did you have an opportunity to make an identification of an individual in those photographs?
Restate your question.
Did you say that you knew anyone from those pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
Specifically as it relates to Davion Murphy, did you have an opportunity ever to have contact with him,
No, ma'am.
Mr. Davion Murphy?
Correct. No contact, no, ma'am.
Did you ever speak to him?
Yes, ma'am.
When I say contact, I mean in life, have you seen him physically?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you saw him, were you, did you have an opportunity to hear him say anything to you?
Yes, ma'am.
What specifically did he say to you?
He just let me know who he was. He said his name, told me who he was related to, and told me that, you know, he heard, like, I was incarcerated for his cousin.
And did you understand the things he indicated to you to be friendly or threatening in nature?
Unfriendly.
Unfriendly.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the only time you ever had any contact? I don't mean contact like fist fighting, but I mean,
Yeah.
is that the only time you ever came into contact with Davion Murphy?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen Rashad Murphy, Davion Murphy, or Isaiah Chance in the parking lot at Teasers? What would you have done?
I would have been on high alert. I would have protected myself.
Same thing with Truth 18.
Yes, ma'am. Same thing.
Had you seen anyone from 1200 in the Tampa area? Would that have been a sign of anything to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I have one moment?
Yep.